Okay, so today we're gonna skin a rabbit. This rabbit was not killed for taxidermy. It was killed for reptile food, for large snakes. I got it from a pet store, already dead. I do not kill any animals for taxidermy. I do not believe in killing animals for taxidermy. But I do use frozen reptile feed, which would otherwise be eaten by snakes. So, first things first, I'm going to get some gloves, which are here. You should always use gloves. I know it's a bit harder on some animals, like if you're skinning a mouse it can be quite fiddly. I don't tend to use gloves on mice, but anything bigger, or rats actually, mice and rats, but anything bigger, unless it's a wild rat. So this is a rabbit, and as you can see it's got a bit of a blood clot or something going on here. So what I use is these surgical blades. They are sterilized. You can buy them for about £8 or £9 I think from JHT Supplies, which is a taxidermy company in Wales, which is where I live. So to do this rabbit we are going to probably do a ventral incision. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see because I haven't done a skinning video before, but basically, let me just, okay, so as you can see, I'll just keep showing you. Okay, so what you do is you gently open, I say gently and I cut into the guts of course because I'm in a bit of a hurry. I've got quite a few rabbits to do. So here we go. Cut the skin away from the flesh. Also, you can use borax. Borax is a type of salt, I believe. It's, as you can see, it's very good for separating skin from the body and such. So what we're doing now is separating the skin from the abdominal area. As you can see, I accidentally did cut into the intestines. It happens, especially when I'm trying to work fast. But you just have to get on with it, even if it does stink a bit. Okay, so let's push them back in a bit. Okay. So now our rabbit has its abdomen exposed. So try and keep intestines, as they start coming out, try and not get them all over the fur because you don't want the stains, and you also don't want the fluid because it's full of bacteria and it might make the fur slip. So what we're going to do, this leg is already broken here, we're going to pull this leg through. As you can see, it's also leaking a bit fluid. So what we're going to do is get some cotton buds and just clear it up a bit. Right. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the leg off for now, and then we will go back and skin the leg properly. Skinning can be a gross job, but it can also be a clean job. It depends. I mean, if you've got roadkill or something, obviously it's going to be a hell of a lot more messy than something that's died naturally of old age or something like that. So now we have one leg free. Going to do the next leg. As you can see, there's quite a lot of fat around the legs, so that'll all be fleshed off. But what I do is I will skin this rabbit. I will leave the this is getting a bit gross, as you can see, where I've cut into the intestines, but being a taxidermist, I have to get used to it. Doesn't bother me so much anymore. In this, the body is a waste product. You don't want the body. You want the skin. So just make sure that nothing gets on the skin. Okay? So anyway, as you can see, well, we're going to use this towel here to put this on. Okay, so now we're at the genitals. We're just going to cut through carefully. And you definitely don't want your rabbit's tail to fall off. So for now, I'm just going to cut it off. Okay. Now, we're pulling the skin away from the abdomen. I think I was talking about something else a minute ago, but I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, what I'm going to do is put this skin in a bucket of salt water, and until I've got the rest of the rabbit skinned. And then I will take them out, drain them, and then salt them. So the salt water will start curing them, but it also cleans them a bit. So here's the front leg, snip that off, and the back leg. The back leg. See the front leg? Sorry, I haven't long been awake. Snip that off. Okay, now on some animals you have to constantly cut the skin away from the body. On rabbits, their skin is pretty thin anyway, especially younger rabbits like this one. So really, you should just pull it as much as you can, but not too much. I mean, you'll get used to it. After you've been skinning a few animals, you'll sort of know how much you can pull and how much you can't. Like, same as when you're doing the incisions in the abdomen. You'll know when you hit the bit that you don't want to hit, the intestines and stuff. And on rabbits, it tends to be quite gross, really, because they eat plant matter, and that rots pretty fast. Anyway, as you can see, it's got some hemorrhaging in the neck here, which makes me wonder. You cut the ears. These are the ears. I'm not sure if you can see. I'm not sure if I'm pulling it too far away from the camera or anything. But these are the ear holes here, here, and here. The skull seems to be a bit... Well, the neck is definitely broken. I'm not sure. Okay. Next, you come up to the eyes. This is where you've got to be really careful. So, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to chop the head off. Right. That's the head. What we're going to do is wrap this up. Put this away for now. Okay, so this is the head. Just the head. These are the ears. Okay, so we're going to cut the skin away from the skull. Slowly. Especially, it can be pretty difficult, especially, there's the eye right there. Especially if there's a lot of hemorrhaging on the head, and sometimes you just don't know where to cut. But you'll sort of, after doing quite a few of the same species especially, you'll know what you're doing. I mean, here's the eyes. Putting very carefully around the eyes, because you really don't want to mess up the eyelids, because that can make or break a mount, the eyes. Okay. So, the eyes are free. As you can see, they look pretty goofy right now. And now the lips, which can also be difficult, depending. So, the lips are here. Apologies if you can't see, I'll show you better in a moment. I just hope that this will upload onto YouTube, because I've never done a video this long, as you know. Okay, when you hit the nose, there'll be some soft cartilage that you'll be able to cut straight through, like that. That's the nose. Then the skin will pull down over the teeth, which you will cut off. You could also go through the mouth to separate the gums from the teeth before you do this, which can make it a bit easier, but I don't know. it requires turning the head skin back around. So now what we're doing is we're working on separating the teeth, the teeth and the gums from the skin. It's getting a bit slippery. Just go slow, because you do not want to mess this up, okay? As you can see, what you could do is cut the skin here. Obviously, if you just want your animal for fur, you don't have to take this much time. Okay, so there's the skull. We're going to keep the skull because we need to measure it. This is the pelt. This is the full pelt. And this is going to be salted. And then it will be tanned. And then I can make another video mounting it. Okay? It's going to be a soft mount for a customer on DeviantArt. But, okay. One thing I didn't show you is taking the feet out. Okay, I have a hole there already. Oops. Okay, rabbits, they make holes so easily. Okay, so to take the feet out, we will basically use a lot of borax around the feet. I mean, you could leave the feet in if you wanted to do traditional mount on a small rabbit. You could probably inject them with bird foot injection fluid, which you can get from taxidermy supply companies. I've also heard of using borax and water, but that's never really worked for me because the borax doesn't dissolve properly. Or you could use methylated spirits, also known as denatured alcohol. In other countries, I don't know what it looks like, but here, for some reason, it's purple. I think it's to market as "don't drink this," basically. My partner's gone out to get me some more, actually, because I store a lot of skins in there for traditional mounting, where I don't tan some of the smaller animals, because I don't want to risk it. So I put them straight in methylated spirits, and that sets the hair. It works pretty well. It also makes the skin seem a lot thicker, and it's just a lot easier. It's a really good way if you can't tan at home. It's a really good way to preserve skins, especially like anything pretty much I'd say up to a squirrel size. I've done rabbits in it though as well, so obviously some of my rabbits are smaller than squirrels, but okay. Alright, what we're doing is very carefully trying to remove the foot. It can be pretty difficult, and you can make lots of holes, but it's worth it in the end. That is a ligament right there. We don't want that. So we'll generally remove things like this in fleshing, but it doesn't hurt to do it as you go. But if you find yourself spending a long time trying to get the feet out, then it might be a good idea to put it in the salt water for a bit, just so you don't get too impatient and end up cutting holes everywhere. So what I'll do is I'll take one foot out, and then I'll save you the boredom of taking the rest, and you can just imagine that I take the others out, which I will do later. Anyway, basically what you're doing is you're pulling the skin down like a sock, right to the joints of the toes. So this foot is all broken as well, which isn't exactly helping. I should have chose the other one. Okay, I don't know, if you're using a knife, it might be easier. I'm using a surgical scalpel, which are really sharp, but as you can see, this foot is most definitely broken. It can be a bit difficult not to cut everywhere and everything. Okay. And that's what happens when the foot comes through. So that's a bad thing. But I can fix that, so. I was going to talk about this actually. That you can make relief cuts, which is where you cut up the back of the foot, pretty much what I accidentally just did. And then, ooh, this is not good. This is going to take a bit of fixing. This rabbit's foot is really damaged. Not from skinning, but just generally. Okay, I've cut the toes off. That will do. Generally. Okay, when I flesh, I'm going to flesh the rest of this out, okay? As you can see, it's inside out right now. I'm going to turn it back the right way. Please don't take this as like the authority on skinning rabbits, because I've been doing this for a few years, but I am no way an expert. Okay, so as you can see, I've already made a mistake. It'd probably be a better idea if I would have made a relief cut to start with in this foot. But I do tend to lose quite a lot of rabbit feet that way, especially on these young ones, because they're so delicate, so delicate. The skin, if you ever taxidermy a baby rabbit, it's like literally like wet tissue paper. It's horrendously difficult to make it look any good at all, which I did not succeed at. It was one of my very first. Anyway, as you can see, this now, no foot in here. So, let's see if I can do a relief cut on this one, just to show you. So, the relief cut I'm going to do on the inside. It's called a relief cut because it's relieving. No, it's called a relief cut because you can get it out easier. It's to relieve the skin from stretching too much. It's to prevent ripping the skin while trying to get the foot out. So what I'm going to do is cut this. The foot is cut up here. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, here is a bone sticking out here. We're going to take this foot out. Rabbit feet, the tendons and everything are very sort of connected to their skin, very, like, I mean all animals are, but rabbits seem especially tough to get the feet out. Which is why you can freeze dry them and things, I think, really, quite successfully. For lucky rabbit feet and all that. Obviously not lucky for the rabbit. Okay. Good. Obviously, I can do more skinning tutorials in the future. This is not the greatest skinning tutorial, but I thought I'd have something. I thought I'd try and get something out there, you know? And plus, I'm sure the client would like to see their rabbit being skinned. And its feet coming off. Sure. Alright, okay, that's the ankle there. So now we need to get this skin off this foot. Which is easier said than done. You would think you could just lift it out, like on the body, especially if you're used to doing young animals where the skin literally just peels off. And then you come to the feet and you're like, what is going on? Obviously, there's a few holes. There is always holes. But that is what sewing is for. Okay, so we've come to the knuckles of the foot here. And on most animals, I would go right down to the toes. On rabbits, I'll leave them, I'll inject the toes. Okay, we've also got the tail still in here. So, it is probably advisable to, leave the feet in, possibly the head, and the tail, until you remove the body, because you don't want the skin You don't want the guts and everything to get on the skin because it'll start decomposition really fast. Okay? Even if you haven't gutted it by accident, I don't know, it's just a lot easier to do it this way, I feel. Okay, that rabbit now has no bone in its tail. As you can see, there's still a lot of, this all has to come off. I'll do it in the fleshing stage, which I will show you. This rabbit is pretty okay. There's no slips that I can see, which is good, because little rabbits seem to like slipping. It's got very nice fur colour, very dark on the top, and then grey on the bottom, grey on the undertail. I think this coloration is called Dutch in rabbits. I'm not sure. Very nice rabbit. So what we're going to do is, with the front paws, we're going to do the same as with the back, which is going up to the knuckle, yeah, and snipping. So, but I won't film that because, well, it's exactly the same as this. Obviously, this one turned out absolutely fine. This one turned out a bit messed up because the foot was all broken. So these should turn out fine. And then into the saltwater bath, which I'll film as well for you. Why the hell not? I hope you like my video. Please subscribe. There will be lots of other videos in the future regarding taxidermy, small animal taxidermy. Please visit my website, which is foxtrailtaxidermy.com. I do custom orders. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.